Hi guys, welcome back to vlog number 4 of my SEP series in University of Waterloo. So one change that you'll probably notice is that now I have a new microphone, so I'm no longer using my phone. So I invested in a Rode Wireless Go 2 wireless microphone, which is a lavalier mic. So I'm hoping that this will be a good investment, although it cost me about $300 Singapore dollars, and I was hoping that in future this will be good use for my vloggings, and maybe I can conduct interviews with other people as well. So hopefully this is a worthwhile investment. So I'm pretty sure that you guys will have noticed at the start, you'll see me shoveling some snow. So what happened is, as of recording, now it is the end of week 2. At the end of week 1, there was snowing. In general, this winter is pretty hot, so the temperature ranges between 0 to -5, rarely dips below -5. So over the weekend, it went into about -8, -9, and it was snowing. So there was quite a build-up of snow, and it didn't melt over the day. What happens is there was ice everywhere, and I have to shovel and then salt it afterwards. This is a fun fact for you guys. Why does ice actually melt when you add salt? Or why do people salt the roads during winter? In primary school science, you have learned that adding impurities to mixtures will help to change its melting point and boiling point. So in particular, water, when you add salt to it, what happens is that the melting point will drop, so that the ice will melt at lower temperatures. The temperatures can be as low as -10 degrees Celsius. That's how you get clear roads, even lower than freezing temperatures. So what actually happens is that the impurities like the salt crystals actually dissolves, and then it ionizes into its cation and anions. This will actually weaken the hydrogen bonds between the water molecules, and we know that as your bonds are weaker, it will cause your melting point to actually decrease. So this is some science that can be applied to your everyday life. Okay, so moving on, every Thursday, my group of friends, we are invited to the Waterloo Pentecostal Assembly, which is actually a church nearby the University of Waterloo. As you've seen in the previous video, there was a family that always welcome to host us, and they invited us to their church for this event called Feeding Frenzi every Thursday. So they cater to mainly university students, where they will serve like all kinds of dishes, and so you just need to come at 5:30 p.m. every Thursday, take a seat, mix around with any other university student, and then at 5:45 they'll do a short prayer, and then they'll start serving out dishes. So in week 1, which I didn't record unfortunately, it was mac and cheese and sausage, and it was pretty good. But week 2, it was meatloaf and I think coleslaw and potatoes, lots and lots of potatoes mashed up very nicely, and the portions were humongous. Okay, it is really like what you see in Western countries. They were very generous, and they were very kind. So through this event, you get to mix around with the other local Canadian students. Okay, and then normally afterwards they will have a short Bible study session. So my group will normally leave before that around 6:30 and make our way back. So that was another interesting experience that we will probably be going for the rest of the semester. Okay, so next thing, there is not too much adventures happening throughout this week, because most of us are trying to get used to academics and then get used to school culture. Maybe I can take this chance to share about what are the different sort of modules that I'm taking currently over here. So I'm taking a total of 5 modules, 4 physics, 1 mathematics. So I'll list them all here. In general, when they say that Western unis are sort of less stressful, in a sense that the subjects are taught less rigorously, I totally disagree. I think that many exchanges who go overseas, what they do is they'll take the easier modules, so they'll say such things. Okay, so for my personal experience, the modules are not easy, especially for the first 2, which requires a lot of prerequisite knowledge that wasn't explicitly mentioned. For instance, introduction to particle physics requires quantum field theory, requires you to be very good in group theory and linear algebra. And in general relativity, you require group theory as well as differential geometry. So the good thing about all my subjects is that they all use the same math. The bad thing is they use the same difficult math. So it's a bit challenging, and the students here are very studious. There are many study spots. I asked around many students what sort of clubs and societies they join. It's mainly like one or two, and most of the time they spend their free time studying. So it is definitely quite stressful. So now let me talk about the differences in studying culture between NUS and University of Waterloo. So far, and from my personal experience and my friends, one is that the response from students, like during Q&A and the interaction with professors during lecture, it is overwhelming in the sense that when the professor asks a question, the student replies almost immediately, and they normally get the answer correct. In NUS, you hear dead silence, and you can even hear a pin drop when the profs ask a question because everyone is very shy to answer it. So that is something I'm getting used to. And they are generally more eager. I think this is partially because most of the lectures are not recorded in the university, so everyone will have to attend. But in NUS, since most lectures are recorded, normally students will skip it and then watch it on the Luminous, or now they call it Canva. Yeah, so it is very different. So there are pros and cons. The pros is that you are sort of forced, okay, not really forced, but it builds up this culture to attend physically and then really engage your profs in questions in real time. But now the cons, which I'm not used to, is I'll show you some clips. Alright, the blackboard, they're using blackboard and chalk, which makes things so difficult to read because the words are very small, especially with mathematical symbols such as nu and v, and you also have mu and u. Yeah, so all of these symbols look so similar when you're looking from afar. Although there is a kind of nice feeling about it because you really get to. Yeah, actually I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, some people just love the blackboard. And another thing that I would like to talk about is that the campus or university is very small. It's so small that I think you will only need 10 minutes to walk from one end of the campus to the other end. So lessons are scheduled such that there's only 10 minutes break in between lessons, which is very short for NUS. Even 20 minutes may not be sufficient in NUS. However, in University of Waterloo, it is very small, so it's definitely possible to reach your next class. At the middle of week 2, there's student life fair. So they started off with a welfare event, so similar to what we have NUSU in NUS, which is a student union. We also have WUSA. Alright, so I'll put up the acronym and the name there. They have a warrior's breakfast. Yeah, so for this warrior's breakfast, what they do is they actually have like a buffet queue, and then they'll serve you. I believe we have scrambled eggs, you have tater tots, you have a sausage. Yeah, so it is actually very big serving, and unlike NUSU in NUS where the queues are extremely long and it's first come first serve basis, and it's a struggle to actually get anything that is free. Alright, this one you can just go in, grab it, get out, and it doesn't take longer than 5 minutes. Alright, so in the later part of the week, we have the Clubs and Societies Day, where the clubs and societies have their booth set up and then they share to students about what their clubs and societies do. One thing I realized about University of Waterloo or Canada in general, it is very inclusive. So they have many different cultural groups. They have a CCA called Women in STEM. I believe there's a CCA about LGBTQ in science. There are many religious groups. So there's Chinese Christian Fellowship. There is a Mandarin Chinese Christian Fellowship. There's a Cantonese Chinese Christian Fellowship, and I think many others. So they have many different groups catering to different people's belief and outtake on life. Yeah, so that is very inclusive, but I feel that it is too inclusive to an extent it is exclusive, because everyone form their own segmented group. I don't think there is a lot of intermingling between them. And yeah, this is a concern that I've heard from many local Canadians, that they celebrate all of this inclusivity to a sense that sometimes it excludes people. Even in the gym, there are gym times dedicated for women identifying people. Yeah, and another thing is that everyone uses their pronouns in official emails, and even all the staff have to have their pronouns on like their plugs at their offices. So it is something new that I see, because there are a lot of he, they, she, they, or we. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this pronouns thing. So after visiting this fair, I've come to narrow down my CCA interests to mainly three. So there's Muay Thai, T Club, and Karate. So the martial arts is self-explanatory, but Tea Club is a session where we just come together, drink tea, play board games, and have fun once a week, which is pretty cool because you just get to talk around with people. Yeah, so overall, I feel that this is a very good start to my university experience. Currently, my life is just going to lectures, coming back, doing shopping, meal prep. That's about it. And then over the weekends, we'll go to Toronto or somewhere nearby, go to shopping. So hopefully next week onwards, week 3 onwards, there'll be more exciting stuff to do. I'll meet more new people, and then I'll share with you. So stay tuned the next episode, where I'll probably be doing a cooking video or ASMR cooking video, or hopefully it works out using this mic. I already got a plan in mind. However, I think the execution is going to be really weird. Alright, so stay tuned and see you in the next vlog.
Wait, wow, you look like absolute shit. Wait, stop, don't start yet, Okay, ready? Oh, it's recording. Oh my god. Wow, it's actually bad.
That's fucked up.